Hello, freak bitches. In all this traveling,
Yeah.
did you come out of this with anything?
A few things. For sure.
Because you seemed like, to tell you from the outside,
Yeah.
like, you seemed like almost like you had a different perspective. You seemed, I don't know, man. It was nice to see you when I first saw you when you came back.
Yeah.
But you seemed like a little different. You seemed
Oh,
like you,
how?
I don't know, you've seen another level of stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you've got another level of perspective from this travel thing that like added to your vision of the world, your whole overall world view.
Yeah. Well, a lot of time to think also. So as
Yeah.
you're seeing stuff, certainly as everyone would see out there, like poverty levels where you're like, oh, I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
But not even that. It's more specific. Just like, I don't know, friendly people and like, yeah, and just different versions of the world. Plus travelers. And plus really getting to a place where you're like, don't need to do anything. After a month of that, it's like, okay, you just settle into this, like, I don't know, what's today going to bring?
Right.
You wake up and you just like, I heard there's this cool temple there. We'll go check that out. Maybe let's get on motorbikes and go somewhere. I heard there's you just talk to other travelers and be like, there's a canyon up there. It's really neat. Go check that out while you're here. And so you just do. And at some point you're like, how when you haven't got enough sleep for like a few days in a row, you got 4 hours, and you sleep like 11 hours and you're like, I am completely caught up.
Right.
So like not having any responsibility, the stress level goes down, and then it's just like waiting in that zero responsibility life for like, I'm 3 months in that level, I guess.
Wow.
After the first couple of weeks, and it's just like, I don't have anything to do. Just like, and just like fucking relax, man. I would leave a city when it felt like the right time to leave a city. It wasn't even like a regular vacation where you're like, come on, we got to do this, then move.
Right.
Get reservations somewhere. Yeah, it was just like, relax, and then I could just think about things. My art form in general, people in my life, what I want and don't want. I'd have like moments of just like, yeah, you take a 10-hour bus. There's no Wi-Fi. You're just like thinking for a while. Yeah, tons of moments like that.
How did you know when to end it?
So I was going to come back for this show. But then I remembered my manager, my friend Eric, they wanted to do a show at Third Man Records in Nashville for the Wild West Comedy Festival. And I forgot about that because people asked me, like, when do you have to go back? Like travelers I'd meet. I was like, I'm open. Dude, there were so many people that were just traveling open.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really common?
I mean, 3 months is like a norm. You have some people
Really?
6 months or a year. I met an Italian girl who was going on her fifth and a half years just traveling.
5.5 years just travel.
Mm-hmm. She'd find jobs every once in a while.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's just she goes where she wants.
It's very appealing.
Yeah.
It's very fascinating, right? That's like, nobody writes books about a guy who stays in his town that he grew up in.
No.
Right? The book is about the crazy traveler person who goes all over the world in a backpack and
Yeah, but there's 3-month people all over America doing that.
I know there's a lot of tent people. There's a lot of people that like they'll get like a truck, like some sort of a
Get off the grid.
SUV thing, and they drive it around to campgrounds and they camp. And they use the showers at the campgrounds, and then they do stuff enough for money so that they have gas, and they keep traveling around and hope their car doesn't break down.
Odd jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this girl picked oranges in Sydney for like 2 months.
I had this dude on, Chris Cage. He walked the Appalachian Trail.
Wow.
Yeah, it's Georgia
And
all
what,
the
do
way
you kill
to
animals
Maine.
and stuff?
No.
I don't know. How do you survive?
You would never make it. You would never make it.
What do you mean?
Well, you'd never make it if you're just trying to kill animals all the way. You'd never make it.
So how do you eat?
You'd have to be an elite hunter, and you still might not ever make it. Because if you're carrying that food around, it's going to go bad. You're walking through Georgia in the summer.
No, I mean, critters.
Critters. You're not going to get enough.
Just cook
You'll
it that
starve.
night. Really?
Yeah, you'll starve.
Oh.
It's way harder to kill an animal than people think it is.
In the movies, that's what they do. It's like, let's camp, get some dinner.
Dude, it's way harder. It's way harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not unless you're walking around with several high-powered rifles and scopes, and you're setting up, and you know where the animals are. They hear you coming, you're walking. You're not going to be able to walk all the way to Maine.
Oh, man, maybe that's you, but an experienced
animals.
hunter like me kind of understands. You have to get in their heads, man.
They go to restaurants.
Yeah.
They buy food. They stay in hostels. You know, they have these little camping spots where they have covered shelters, and people share them.
Really? Yeah, there's a lot of that, too.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, oh, forget about your, like, what you need in terms of, like, hotels.
Yep.
That's all out. You need a bed. That's all you need.
So some people, they carry it on their back. There's a thing called a bivy sack. You know what a bivy sack is? A bivy sack is like either a bivy sack or a bivy tent. They're like essentially a combination sleeping bag tent.
Oh, cool.
And it's super light. Pull up a picture of a bivy tent.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons I didn't go to South America is because I was like, there's going to be more camping, it seems like. Up and down the coast and stuff, and less like cities. And I'm just like, I don't know if I can camp alone for that long.
You might freak out.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to get a good night's sleep around a bunch of weirdos who don't even speak their language. This is what they look like.
Oh, neat.
So you keep that thing, they wrap it up, put it on their back. It's pretty light. You can carry that with you.
Keeps the fucking rain off you?
Yeah, it's basically like just this tiny-ass little tent. And, like, if you were a minimalist hiker, like if you're some guy who's trying to walk 50 miles or something crazy like these guys, they try to carry as light a stuff as they can. They try to go as minimal as they can. And that's one way that they do that.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times they'll use, like, a little air mattress like that dude has. A little,
oh, wow.
mat.
Blow it up. Doesn't take up any space.
Yeah. You just got to hope it doesn't pop.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, you're sleeping on rocks. It's hard, but...
That's what everybody did too, traveling for this backpack. You just got to make it work. Space was like that's another thing you learn too. It's like, I don't need much stuff.
Yeah.
You go down to like, just a backpack full if that's all your belongings.
Right.
If you buy anything, you got to throw something out.
Yeah, man. Like, there's a real movement right now towards minimalism, or where people are trying to pare their life down as much as possible.
Yeah, I think people don't want to get involved with like banks and fucking having to like mortgage themselves and their lifestyle just for the sake of like having things.
Yep.
When they're like, and so they get into like stuff like camping and hiking.
Well, it's also, you got to think like, what do you really appreciate? What's important to you? Like, what's really important to you?
Yeah.
Because you don't have forever, right? So what is important to you? Because you only have 24 hours in a day. So what's important to you? Find out what the fuck that is and do more of that.
Yeah.
And try to figure out like how to make enough money so that you're not starving, that you're doing well.
Yeah.
But don't just chase that. Chase what you're trying to do. Like the point system attached to it, the monetary point system, it can get you all fucked up because it'll get you working like 12 hours a day, 13 hours a day.
To get what?
To get more stuff. To get better stuff, to get more prestigious stuff, to get stuff that, all your other stuff having friends are really jealous of your stuff.
Yeah, you're just going to die, bro. And it's not even long term. I mean, like, what are you getting out of it now?
That's what I meant. That's what's most important.
A ton of people that are like, I don't want that shit. So I'm just going to do a job, working on a tugboat in Seattle for a few months, save up money, and then go fucking enjoy myself.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are just choosing to look at everything that they can see, experienced every new place that they can go to. That Henry Rollins podcast, man, it's a world changer.
Yeah.
That crazy fucker.
Yeah, he is.
He's fascinating.
Yeah.
I never met anybody like him. He's really fascinating.
Yeah, he goes and like does stuff and sees stuff.
It was just also his outlook, how he simplifies all the things that are wrong with him and all the things that are wrong with the way he interacts with people. And so this is what I'm going to do. And this is going to, like he's like his story about being given, was it Ritalin? It was Ritalin, right? From the time he was like 5, for he was a young boy, they gave him Ritalin till senior year of high school. So he was like, I would just be on these pills. I'd be like, all day. At the end of the day, like, boom, he would like crash. And then they'd do it again. I mean, they're juicing him up with this crazy stuff. From like, he was an experimental case.
He grew up in, from what I understand, he's from Potomac, Maryland, which is the same county as where I grew up in. But that was the richer part of town. Not that he was a rich kid, but like Montgomery County is one of the richest counties in America. And like, that was just a standard thing. Like, if your kid's not performing ideally, he's learning disabled, give him some pills.
Right. Crazy.
Yeah.
That people thought for a while that was the way to go. It's just fascinating that he's so, like, Henry's so intense, and he's so, like, he's got, like, these rock solid ethics and this view of the world that's very egalitarian and very open, but also very aggressive. It's very interesting.
Seems like he's thought it out, though. It's not just like, oh, whatever, and this is what I believe no matter what.
Yes.
He's like, oh, yeah, for sure, I thought about this, and here's the answer.
No, I super enjoyed talking to him. Thanks for hooking that up.
Yeah, I'm glad it worked out. I was
great.
gone, but I was like, oh, I got back. I was like, did you ever link up with him? You're like, yeah, we did. It was a good podcast. Like, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.